Why be somebody else when I can be me? Why be somebody else when I can be me? You're already taken, cause I'm in the making. Cause I'ma be me, I'ma be me, I'ma be me. Yes, sir. I'm so good at being good. There it is. Hey, family. It is so good to be able to be here with you. And I'm so thankful you're here with me and my VIP. So I want to say welcome to the Hear My Heart show, where we pull back the curtain and we drop all the titles and we get the real about life. We get the real about faith and everything in between. I am your host. I'm Coach Tiffany. I am a wife, a life coach, and I am also your internet sister. Okay. So this is the space where hearts speak and hope is restored. And every week we get a chance to sit down with incredible guests. And there are my VIPs who share their stories, they share their struggles, and they're going to share some wisdom to remind you, yes, you, that you are seen, you are loved, and you are never, ever alone. So I want you to grab something, whether it's something to write with or it's something to keep you hydrated, because you never know how things go. We might even laugh, we may cry, you never know. But I know you're going to need to buckle up, because today's VIP, she is a wife and a mother of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I probably just dated myself by doing that. But nevertheless, she is a mother of 10, and she is passionate about drawing women into becoming closer and more intimate with their relationship with God. She is definitely a walking testimony, the kind that makes you say, if God did it for her, he definitely can do it for me. So I'm going to bring my VIP to the stage. You ready? Hey.
Hey, wow, what a welcome. Absolutely. Oh, wow, that's amazing. And yeah.
I'm glad
Thank
you feel
you.
amazing. You are an amazing individual. You cannot let an amazing individual shine, right?
Yeah.
So I always have questions for my VIPs. And so I am going to ask you my favorite question that I always ask. Tell me this. What are you thankful for?
I am thankful for what God has done in my life. For God just being my constant hope and my peace and my rock, uh, especially in the last few years, but just, yeah, what he's done for me. And he is so good.
Okay.
God is
Oh,
good. Of course, my family, of course, my 10 kids, of course, my husband. But man, I mean, that's the biggest thing is that for God and what He's done for me, it is amazing.
that is amazing. Wait, 10 kids. Did you push them all out C-sections or what?
Last two was C-sections, but otherwise, yeah, yeah.
Did they have a whole lot of hair? I'm just nosy because I pushed all mine out, and
Definitely.
all of them I felt a whole ring of fire, and I was like, "Oh God!" Oh.
Been there, done that for sure. But no, yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Mhm,
So tell me this:
mhm.
what season? What's a season in your life where you had to lean on God the most? What would you say is a season for you? Hey fam, real quick before we dive deeper into this conversation, if you're feeling what you're hearing, go ahead and tap that like button and subscribe. I mean, why keep all this encouragement to yourself? These details matter. So go ahead, bless your
Well,
feet.
when we lost our 14-year-old son, which is the second oldest of our 10 back in 2017. So at that time, we just had our eighth baby in January 2017, our eighth
Okay.
little one. And yeah, life was good. And, everything felt good. We were trying to, serve God the best we could and raise a family for him. The baby born then, so she just turned 8 in January. And we did think there would be a little difficulty with her still in the womb, like she was with sonograms that showed that she had Dandy Walker malformation syndrome, something like that. We were concerned, but no. Then the sonograms closer to the end showed good, and yeah, she was born healthy and great. And so it's like, oh, okay, all right, all's good. And then 3 months later, on April 19th of 2017, that is when we lost our second oldest son.
Wait, the first one you said they had that your baby had, what was it?
Dandy Walker malformation. Is it?
What is
And
that?
I don't know if I can really tell you. It was something with the back of the brain that it wasn't, I don't know, forming, shaping quite right. And they really felt it could, like there's variations of it, like that where it could be cause difficulties with being born when you're born, maybe even with breathing and well, all these things. But no, that they already could rule that out before she was born. And then they didn't know really what it was going to be like, but we did different tests for her. And no, she was only slower, say, walking and talking and stuff.
Okay.
But,
yeah. So God came through for you, huh?
Yeah, for that. Yeah, certainly did. And then, April 19th came along. And so we weren't expecting that. And our 14-year-old just went for a little ride on a four-wheeler. And that was the last I seen him live. He had been out kind of looking for something to do, and we homeschool. I don't know if we mentioned that, so all the 10 kids, but we had one in school especially that year, because he was difficult. He tested me, everything, and with that baby being born, not knowing if we're going to do a lot of trips to the city for appointments for her, and it was like, I think this is more than I can handle. So he was in school. So the next one under the 14-year-old Clayton, the next one under, and so Clayton really missed him and really looked forward every day for him getting off the bus. So he went out, he was looking for something to do. He came in the house and told me, I'm going to go over by dugout and look for ducks. And I waved him off and said, I'll see you later. And then that was the last time I seen him alive. He as I waved him off, he got the four-wheeler and went over there. And so when we found him, the four-wheeler, was our son that found him was the brother that he was waiting for. The closest
the baby
to
found him.
12-year-old.
Well, not the baby, but his
12-year-old sibling is the one that found the four-wheeler over on top of him, and it was on top, and it just looks like he got in the wrong angle. We had never let them play around with these things. It was to get from point A to point B to, and maybe they did things behind her back a little bit, but maybe for a little speed. But looking at the marks, I mean, on that slope, for one thing, it shouldn't have happened. I mean, it's like, how did this happen? I think just wrong angle, and it wasn't no rip and tear on that hill at all. I honestly didn't go to the spot until 3 or 4 months later, like, because my husband running out there after my 12-year-old found. They went out there. I stayed at the house and all that, and I could not bring myself to go out there. So it's one of those things. I think I wish I had, because I did end up crying a lot. Like I did, but I don't know. I was trying to remain strong, and I had the other kids, and tears just started coming. I pulled it in, and I think if I had went over there to the spot, I could have let it all. It would have been a messy. But I think it would have felt good. But I was scared to do. I'm like, I can't. I know what's going to happen to me if I go over there. I'm not going to. So, and even see. So the first time I actually seen him after I said see you later was in the funeral home, because even when we had the ambulance come and all of them come, and I was just still in the house, and they told me kind of don't see him. They're at this point. Then they're like, I wasn't over there at the scene, and then they said, you'll get a chance to say your goodbyes and stuff at the funeral home. That would be better. And just that would be better. So I said, okay. So then that's when I went. And even then, I don't know, it just, even seeing him though, it looked like he was sleeping. And it was hard to, very hard, of course, imagine. I don't know, but it just didn't release it. Like, I wish I'd been out to the spot. Like, I didn't go there. But so I was still kind of explaining that on the hill though. There was no sign that he'd been ripping around, just got on the wrong angle, and it flipped and rolled over him. The autopsy showed that he died of a broken neck and broken back. They said little to no trauma. So that we interpreted that to me like that it went very quick. He wasn't really suffering long. He wasn't calling for help. He wasn't wondering when we were coming.
Mhm.
And that was good for our hearts. It was really surprising how those little things in the
Mhm.
middle of the worst thing ever that we could go through, we're
Mhm.
like, oh, that's good. Oh, thank you, Lord. Oh, thank you
Right.
that he didn't suffer long and that he was simply here one moment and gone the next.
Wow. Do you
I
think
just,
you've ever gotten it out yet? Like you've
I
been
think
able just to have that moment to release, to scream, to cry, to get all of it out. You think you've had that moment yet?
I did in a dream.
Okay.
I did in a dream. This was 2 or almost 3 years later, and I had this dream. We were talking about clay, and it's just something that triggered something in the dream. And
Mhm.
boy, I wept and wept and wept like I never had.
Yeah.
And when I woke up, it was that very vivid. I was like, well, I realized what I had done, and I had been
Mhm.
crying and weeping in my dream. And it just felt good. It felt good during the dreams. Kind of weird. I don't know. I don't understand dreams, truthfully,
Okay.
don't. But kind of how they all work. But and then when I woke up, and then I'm just like, wow, isn't that something?
Mhm.
God let me. I really, I cried like I had never cried, and I was like, oh, that felt good and
Uh-huh.
everything. I don't know how to explain. So I did in that way, but I am not in real life. Just every time I was just trying to curb it, I don't know why. I
Uh-huh.
trying to be strong or just I didn't want to be a mess. I truly didn't want to be.
Do you
I
ever
cried.
find it hard to cry, period? Or are you like not a
No,
crier?
no, I think I'm quite emotional sometimes. Like, no,
Okay.
I don't know, not off the handle emotion,
I mean,
but
I
yeah,
get it. Uh-huh.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you do express emotions. It's just
yeah.
at
Oh
that
yeah,
particular time you just didn't.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Understood. What would
hmm
you say is a lesson that God teaches you through that particular season that you still can carry with you today?
Well, just to really to hold on to really just hang in there, and that's where we
Mhm.
find our peace when we can just really abide. And I think these things have that potential to either draw us closer or we can be upset with God. Why did you have to have push away? And so I just really pulled in closer, and
Yeah.
and I feel that He taught me more about His character, about who He is. That yes, is a good God, definitely, definitely, and but that doesn't mean that everything is always going to look good in our life. We're not going to always, yeah, everything's upbeat. We're going to walk through difficulty. So verses that really stood out to me was John 16:33. He says, in, in me you'll have peace. In this world you'll have tribulation, but be of good cheer of overcoming. So he promised us that we would have trouble. He's like, this is the way it is. This is life. In this world you're going to have trouble and trials and things and sorrow and grief. But in me you will have peace. And so I just
Mhm.
kind of, yeah, he seemed to taught me more about himself, that uh, his character, that he's after our hearts, not so much just our comfort here on earth. And he cares about all the little things too, but he is really after our hearts and our souls and after that greater picture and mission, that these things, when we walk through, gives us the ability to reach out to someone else. And that's a good thing. Sometimes those most difficult things we go through, if it draws us closer to him, if it helps us to have more empathy and compassion for others, then that's a good thing. Then that's
Yeah.
a good thing. And he knew that we could carry this out. I mean, God allows things to happen. And I mean, our marriage stayed firm and
Mhm.
intact. Our family stayed. This didn't rock us a lot. I kind of do refer it to that our world flipped upside down, or um, but in a way, we weren't like we really were standing on that solid rock. I felt a peace that I've never, never, never felt right before, or really that peace that you can't describe. And I felt a communion with God that I never really had before. Like I could just commune with him and talk with him. I'm like, God, right when this is like right when I'm found out that we lost Clyde. Right when I'm like, God, I know you're with me. God,
Mhm.
you love me. I know there's a reason. I know there's a purpose. I don't know
Mhm.
why, but he'd still be here if he's meant to be here. I
Mhm.
know he'd be here. And I just really clung to that. And yeah, then I really wanted to try to help other women to see that too, like how these bad things can be used for good. And that
Mhm.
no, God didn't forget his dog, was suddenly not good. No, he's always good. He always has been. He always will be. He never changes. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. But he didn't say that life was going to be rosy, but he said he'd always be with us. So I just want to help him to see that God is good, and we can end up going into a disappointment mode, thinking He's let us down, and if God was good, then why did He let this happen? But that's why it's important to get in the Word and abide in Him, that so we can see that these things happen because it's part of the world, not because He's not good. No, He's good and He's with us, but this is the world we live in. We have an enemy roaming around there, trying to devour us. Satan comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but God came to give us life and life abundant, as John 10:10 says. And so, I just really want to help other women just to see that there is beauty from brokenness. These bad things can be turned around for good. And God is still good. He didn't let us down. We can go in that, God didn't let me down. He did not let me down at all. He's always been good.
Yeah, He is definitely. How is because it was your son that found him, right?
Yeah.
How is he?
He is in a good place now.
Good.
Now, and I say now, he really is. It really hit him, really rocked him. And just like even like a year ago, still he sort of told me that it just doesn't understand it. It doesn't make sense. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It really kind of doesn't, that we had to lose him. It doesn't make sense, but God did allow it, right? So, and that we know that for a race or something, he'd still be here if he's supposed to be here. And so, and it did rock his world. He lost his childhood. I mean, he was only 12. He barely turned 12 in March. His birthday's in March. This happened in April. He barely turned 12. And he said he just worked really hard so that he would kind of forget it. He didn't want to think about it. It hurt too much. It was too hard. And so it seemed like like I said, he just really seemed to lost his playful childhood way, even with the other siblings. He just didn't want to really hang out with them a lot. He just kept himself busy. He really liked animals and raising animals and other things out in the shop. He had a wooden lathe. Him and the brother Clayton used to always do the wooden lathe stuff together. So he'd go out there and do it by himself. And he just poured himself in. Everything that he does, he gives it 200. I say 200%. He's a workaholic. And so to this day, that's what he does. But he's in a good placement. Like he really, it wasn't close to the Lord for a while. He just, I don't know, because if he couldn't make sense of it, if what happened, if that was the reason, but he wasn't close, and now he is. He's really submitted his life to the Lord, and he's in a good place. Yeah, praise the Lord. And he definitely is wanting a speaking ministry. That he definitely sees. So how old is he? He just had birth in March. So our son Clayton would be 23. So I think I can't keep up with all my children's ages. He must be 20 or 21. And yeah, he has a heart to help other young people in a variety of ways and I'm like, you're going to be a powerful speaker.
Yeah.
I just know it.
Oh, that is absolutely amazing. You seem like you're staying super happy. What's something that pulls you to your happy place?
God, it's only the joy of the Lord is my strength. And joy is one thing I didn't know if I was going to have again. Okay, I had the peace. I told you I had a peace that I couldn't describe. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's what Philippians 4, 6 or 7 says. It says that there's a peace that he gives us that we can't even describe. Okay, so I'm like, yeah, I have that peace. Wow. But joy was like, I don't know if I'm going to have joy again. Am I going to be able to smile again? And can I laugh and not feel guilty? Like those were things I truly wondered if I could do that again. And I didn't know. And there was this women's retreat that I had already registered for before we lost him. And it was for June. So not even 2 months since we lost him. And I really it's kind of like, do I still go with this? Like, and I knew I'd be a mess of tears probably during, and I was like, do I go? But then I felt, no, there's probably something there God has for me. So I went, and during one of the prayer times, they wanted, encouraging ladies to come up for prayer, whatever it was. And the only thing I wanted to be prayed for was, I didn't go up because I just tried. I'm like, no, I'm going to be a mess. So from my seat, I cried out, but it was like, if I went up there, I was going to say, I just want to have joy again. Wow. That's all I was going to say. I just want to have joy again. And I have joy again.
Good. I am thankful for your joy, that God gave you some joy. Like there
Yeah.
is nothing like having
Mm,
joy in your life. Yeah, I can be happy, but happiness can be fleeting, but it's nothing like having that joy.
yeah.
And that is just something that just overflows. And I'm so grateful. Listen, joy definitely is my best friend. So
Yeah.
you totally understand that. If you were to say that you needed to give someone a word of encouragement, what's one word of encouragement that you would leave for someone listening today who might be in their own valley or they might be in their own experience? What's something that you can say to them that would encourage their hearts?
There's still hope, and you will have that. You will have joy again. If you are at a spot where you don't know if, well, you're like me, will I ever have joy again? Will I be able to smile or laugh and
Mhm,
not have to feel guilty about doing that?
mhm,
I can't see how I'm going to be able to do that. I don't know. I don't feel like it. I can't see it. I don't know. I mean, I would promise you that you will have joy again, that you can laugh and smile, and that there's still hope, and don't lose that hope. Like we lost our son, we didn't lose our hope. You cannot lose that hope. You hold on to that hope, and hope is a person. The hope is Jesus. And he came, it's like let it. He is our hope, and he is, I mean, holding on to us more than we could ever try to hold on to him. But he's holding on to us. He's never left you nor forsaken you. Um, he loves you, and it's just that you always and yeah, that hope. And there is abundant life to have after in Jesus, and just keep hanging on to that hope. Don't ever lose that hope. And it in the Romans 15:13, that verse that I love, it says, "Now the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace and believing, that you may abound in hope through the power of the Holy Ghost." Or another version says, "Being overflow with hope." So you going through those things, going through that belly, going through the worst things, but when you hang on to God, you will have that hope. And I know you may feel disappointed, and but I had a different plan for my life. This was not the way it was supposed to go. If God was good, this wouldn't have happened. And you can get a disappointment kind of mode going on with God, or feel that He's let us down. But no, He said in this world that we would have trouble. So He
mhm.
did. He did let us down. He's never backed up on His word, not once. And He said that He would always be with us. He'd never leave us nor forsake us. And I have felt see that. There's a verse in Psalms that says, "Oh, taste and see for the Lord, He is good. I have
Mhm.
tasted and I have seen He is good." And uh, the end part of Psalms 23 says, "Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life." And you can look back and see, in your life, the things that you've been through, all the bellies and things. It's like, yeah, God's goodness and mercy has followed me all these days, every day, and I know that He will for anyone else
That hope is floating with you, isn't it?
listening. Only because of God, only because of who He is, and that He is good, that He brings good from the crazy things that don't make sense. Like, in
Uh-huh.
Romans 8:28, I might add is, for we know that all things work together for good for those who love Him and are called according to His purpose. And that doesn't mean that they always have to look good, feel good to be turned around for good. And like the story of Joseph and everything that he went through, you know,
Uh-huh.
his life didn't look like anything the way the dreams that he had, but God was working that out and bringing him to the place that He needed him. So even though these things, we think, okay, our plan, everything's derailed. It's not. It's, now what? God's going to have to come up with another plan. No, God's. I just heard this. I said, what if our plan B, or plan C, is actually God's plan A? You know,
Ooh, how about it?
yeah. So what if this was His plan A? What if this was exactly the
Uh-huh.
plan? And you're living out the plan, and just try to embrace where you are, instead of saying, "Why did this
Mhm.
happen?
Uh-huh.
God, how can I give you glory in this? What do you want me to learn or to grow or to help someone else now where I am at? How can I give you glory in this situation?"
Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
didn't you write something? Did you write a book?
I holding on to hope It's our family story of tragic loss and the hope of God that's kept us going since. So it's our story. It's 4 years worth of blogging, actually. So I had a blog and I don't hardly blog anymore. I don't have time, but now I'm doing videos. So yeah, I have a YouTube channel where I share all the stuff on there, and I do videos instead. I find that easier. My two children. So, but I was blogging, and I would write right after this happened, losing our son. I wrote like April 19th, 2017, detail it out. Then another week we should share some things. So another time, some more things, and just whenever it was sporadic. And it was like, this is what I'm going through. What are you going through today? This maybe will help you. This verse helped me. This quote helped me. And my friend said something. My mom says it. Whatever it might be. And yeah, it's 4 years worth of that. And there's dates for every entry has a date when I wrote it, and so you can really see exactly what season I was in, how many months after my loss. Like, oh, she wrote that like 40 months ago. It's to give hope for whatever a person is going through. It's my book, a story of loss and grief, but I really call it my book of hope. It's the hope. It's to give you hope wherever you are in your journey, and just to encourage you, don't stop holding on. Don't stop believing and trusting God. Don't throw in the towel. Don't give up. But to rise up and choose to smile again, and to have joy again, and just keep praising
Where do
God.
we find it at? Where do we find
it? Amazon. On Amazon.
Come on. So I need to know one more question. I got one more question for you. I always got questions. I got one more question. What would you say is a guilty pleasure of yours, if it's a snack, TV show, or something that we would not guess about you? Now, I know you love the Lord, so I know that. I know your wife. I know I know you love your kids. So that's not any. I know that. I got a blessed assurance of that. But what's something that you think that we wouldn't guess about you?
I like iced coffee.
Really? What's your flavor? I want to know.
I make it myself. I don't have a flavor because and I was always like, I'm trying not to be a heavy coffee drinker. I get like kind of addicted to coffee. So then if I go a day without it, then I get headache. I'm like, oh no. So that I used to but I'm in Texas right now, and it's to enjoy coffee. And so I just put not very much. So a little bit of coffee, some milk, coffee and milk, a little bit of cream or whatever we have in the fridge.
Gotcha. So do you really have like a little bit of coffee with cream and sugar, or is it like, you're having
sugar.
Real coffee and
no real?
Because for me, I love a caramel macchiato. That is me. I absolutely love that. So for me, I just have a little bit of coffee, but it's more all the sweeteners and stuff that goes into it. So it's a little bit of coffee with a whole bunch of cream and sugar.
Yeah. No, I'm not into the creamer stuff. No, I just want just my flavored coffee.
Okay, understood. Well, I have to tell you, I am so thankful that you decided to come be our VIP today. I really appreciate you. You have tremendously blessed me. And I really appreciate you sharing your story, because sometimes that's not super easy to share. And you've been through some stuff, and everybody isn't graced for that. But I'm not saying that I wish it on you, and I'm not saying I'm glad it was you, but there is a lot of people that wouldn't be able to handle that. But what you've been through, the fact that you're able to share your story, and I think if that happened to me, I cry every single time I said it. But that's just me. I'm an emotional person, kind of individual like that. It don't take much for me to cry. So in my now season, because before I would never show that I have tears that ever come out of my face.
Okay.
So for me, I have to say I'm super grateful for you. So thank you so much. I thank you for sharing your story. I appreciate you. And you were just awesome. I really want to tell you, I really appreciate you.
Well, thank you. It's all God. It's all God. And I just keep trying. I just want to keep shining for him and being a light and bringing that encouragement to someone else, just to give them hope. And I want to see women set free and not being held and, not being upset and mad at God.
Gotcha. I got
God is good. And it's just God.
Yeah.
So I thank you so much. Thank you for allowing me to be here to share my story.
Very welcome. You're very welcome.
Give the hope. Yes.
Well, I definitely know your hope is what's floating today. Definitely, for sure. So listen, thank you again for coming in. If you were encouraged at all for all my listeners, if you were encouraged at all during this story, for you hearing what you hear, if you laughed or even if you cried a little bit, don't keep all of this goodness to yourself. Please and thank you. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the show, and turn on those notifications so you never ever miss a moment of heart healing goodness. Okay. And I really appreciate my guest again. I appreciate you. You're so kind. I really, really am thankful for you being here. But make sure y'all share this with one of your friends, share this with a sister friend, your mama, your coworker, the person that stays acting up, whoever you want to share this with. Make sure you're sharing, because we're building a community of hope over here. Okay. And I want you to be my personal guest here, and I want you to invite somebody else to be a guest. Okay. So until next time, remember, your story matters. Your heart is here, heard, and your heart's going to be healed, and you definitely are loved. I'm Coach Tiffany, and I will see you right here on the Hear My Heart show. Love you all. You got to tell them bye. I appreciate you. Bye.